Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the GSD Show. I'm your host, Mike Garcia, and for today's episode, we're actually going back in time, not too many months ago, but we had GSDCON, and Bedros Keuilian actually came and spoke at our event, and it was fantastic. He talked a lot about money and the ways that people are actually looking at it, but the ways that it needs to be looked at in order to increase profitability at maximum level. And that's really something that's super important for businesses that want to grow. And we talk about sales, we talk about being the best and the hardest working in the room and how to actually get your mindset around that and how to ultimately build profitable sales machines and great businesses in the fitness industry. So without further ado, check out this awesome exclusive talk that we had at GSDCON a while ago, but it's still favorited and we wanted to share it here with you.
Listen, I want to talk to you guys about something, and that something is about money. I think we could all agree that we're in the fitness industry to help people, to help them burn fat, gain muscle, live healthier, preventatively solve their medical issues rather than through medicine and big pharma. But oftentimes the cloth that we're cut from as gym owners, we think about putting the customer and their needs first before our financial needs. And once you have that client, you ought to do that. But I also want you to know that the number one thing that matters most in business is profitability, is money. It's predictable increase in revenue. Without that, you've got nothing. Money is oxygen. Money solves the problem of not having money, and that's a really good problem to solve. In fact, money is a vehicle to freedom. Money has allowed me to buy back my time, which is why I'm able to run a workshop here yesterday, do this talk today, fly to South Carolina from here to speak at another event, all while my 7 companies are being run by an amazing group of leaders and an amazing team below those leaders, because I've been able to buy back my time by paying my people well and teaching them how to operate our business. And so if you have any weird limiting beliefs about money, I need you to just dismantle that right away. If you're anything like me, you may have grown up with this negative money mindset, this poverty mindset, which was we always run out of money before we run out of month. Money's the root of all evil. Rich people are stuck up. You can't be in love with money. Here's the deal. I love money. It allows me, because I always tell people I have 2 speaking fees, free or $50,000. If it's an event where the person's making money, I'm charging 50 grand. If it's an event like going to a juvenile hall and speaking to kids, going to a school and speaking to kids, or recovering, rehabilitating felons, it's free. I'm able to do those for free because I make an obscene amount of money. And I need you to embrace the concept of making an obscene amount of money. Do not be shy about that. Do not have any allergies to money. Because if you do, money is very dynamic. Money's like a dog. It could smell when you're afraid of it. It can smell when you have an issue with it. And it will repel you no matter how much you say you want money. I know that firsthand because I grew up as an immigrant to this country. I lived in Section 8 housing. We always ran out of money before we ran out of month. And I grew up with a very negative association to money. I always figured there was the haves and the have-nots, and I belonged in the have-nots. And so if you went into entrepreneurship with this negative mindset about money, with this negative association about money and wealth, and you are just putzing along, that might be why. No system that Mike gives you or any of the speakers up here will ever work for you, because that strategy, that system, that tactic is being filtered through a negative money mindset. And so I'm stressing this point to you passionately because what I'm about to share with you can literally hockey stick your money. Are you guys okay with that? All right, fantastic. Then let's get started. And I truly mean it, man. Like, people always tell me, well, money can't buy happiness. Oh, yes, it can. Yes, it can. If you probably haven't given enough of it away. Because I give money to Shriners Children's Hospital, Toys for Tots, Compassion International. We've got 97 kids adopted through Compassion International. You tell me that doesn't buy me fucking happiness when we get 97 letters every quarter from kids in third world countries that we're taking care of. Or when kids whose families can't afford medical surgeries get those medical procedures because Shriners is literally funded by all private donors like me. So when people tell you that money can't buy happiness, I want you to challenge them and say, well, you just haven't given enough of it away. And I'm gonna make so much of it that I can give a lot of it away and still elevate my family, transcend my family from blue collar thinking to abundant thinking. And my friend Ed Milet says it best. He says there's always one in every family. And I hope I'm looking at all the ones from all the different families. I know I'm the one from my family. Because growing up, I was sexually molested in Armenia. When we came here, we lived in Section 8 housing, and I was beat up and picked on by gangbangers. English was a second language. They told me I have ADD and OCD and put me in special ed. And so I grew up with a chip on my shoulder. I grew up thinking that I want to have so much money that my sister will never have to work for someone, because she worked at a pizzeria when we first came here. My sister is 16 years older than me. I'm the oops baby. And so, by the way, to get Armenian parents to admit that you're the oops baby, like, no, we had a big gap. Like, 16 years? Shut the fuck up. Like, there was no big gap. You thought you were shooting blanks, and then there I was. And so my sister, by the time we were two years into living in the United States, my sister was working at this pizzeria. I would hear from her telling my dad, crying to my dad. The pizza store owner was very handsy with her, was very rude to her. When she had a drink, he would always sip it and taste it because it was a clear drink to make sure it was water and not like 7-Up or Sprite. And I remember hearing my dad talking her into, we need the money. Just keep working. We need the money. Soon you won't have to work there. And when you're 7 or 8 years old, you're helpless. You don't feel like you can do anything. So I remember telling my sister, hey, one day I'm going to make so much money you'll never have to work there again. Not realizing that obviously she's not going to work there her whole life until I get rich. But about 8 years ago, I was able to retire my sister. She now works for me full time, doing absolutely nothing and getting a paycheck. Yeah. The cool thing about having a sister who's 16 years older than you is she pretty much raised me, so I feel like I take care of my mom and dad, and I take care of her. My brother, he's older than me as well. He can fend for himself. Anyways, guys, so I really want to instill in you, like this, you have to have this mindset of money. I look at money like every dollar is a little soldier, and I have to deploy every dollar, send them on a mission, and then the mission is to go and kill more dollars and bring it back. Like, if you start looking at it that way, right, then you start realizing, like, oh shit, I'm not allowed to lose dollars. If I'm bad to money, just like if you were bad to your honey, if you're married, if you're dating, if you're bad to your significant other, they're gonna leave you. If you are bad to money, it will leave you. Remember, I said it's very aware of how you feel about it, of how you manage it, of what you think it's for. And so if you think about the concept of deploying every dollar and having a dollar come back, you start realizing that, shit, I need to start learning metrics. If I'm gonna run ads, I can't just go, well, I ran $5,000 of ads today, this month, and we got a bunch of clients. We made $12,000. Well, do you know what every lead was worth? Do you know what every cost of acquiring a new client is worth? Do you know what the lifetime value of that client is worth? Have you figured out how many referrals each client can give you over that lifetime period that they're with you? Because then you might be able to deploy $50,000 a month and not $5,000 a month. And so you've got to develop the money intelligence. But I want to talk to you guys specifically about selling because I've stumbled upon a new sales system. If that's not a YouTube infomercial script, I've stumbled upon a new YouTube sales system. And if you sell gym memberships, you're going to love this system, sir. But I stumbled upon a new sales system, and I learned it from The Rock. See, previously, I'm 48 years old, so pre-social media, the strategy was, you have lead boxes, or you get referrals from a client, or you have local businesses referring to you. Like when I had my 5 gyms in San Diego, premier results, before I ever launched Fit Body Bootcamp and all these things. I was a personal trainer, I had my 5 gyms, I then became the entrepreneur. It was all about lead boxes, it was all about having 10 or 15 local businesses endorsing me, promoting me. And so it's like you're just waiting for the phone to ring or for someone to walk in through the door, and when they do, hi, my name is Bedros Keuilian, I'm the head trainer here at this location, I've got 4 other locations throughout San Diego, and can I offer you a free personal training session? If the answer was yes, great, we're gonna offer you a free personal training session. On the strength of that, I'm going to sell you a 6 or 12-month program for 1, 2, 3, or 4 times a week. So that person didn't know me 2 minutes ago. Now they have to build the know, like, and trust factor with me so that they feel comfortable in buying from me, because working out is kind of it's a kind of an intimate thing, right? I mean, they're not like us where they're used to being in a gym working out. It's intimidating for them. And so I remember, man, there was a lot of resistance. There's an awkward conversation. There's a lot of rapport building that had to happen. And closing percentages were low for me. And try as I might, I was just unable to really get that know, like, and trust factor up. So I went from doing 45-minute consultations to 60-minute consultations, because if I had more time to get to know you, ask about your family, why you're here, what keeps you awake at night in terms of your health, fitness, nutrition, physique, then I might be able to find your pain points and peel the onion and then discover your reason for buying. But that's 60 minutes to do all that and put you through a mock training session. That's a lot of pressure. But today it's very different. Because today what I realize is we can use strategies that exist to pre-sell, pre-qualify, to overcome objections, to position ourselves as the expert or authority or even the celebrity in the community in that area. And really the selling no longer takes place at your location or over the phone, however you guys do the closing. The selling happens well before you ever meet the person. It happens on Instagram, happens on Facebook, happens on YouTube, happens on your podcast. Are you guys seeing where we're going with this? Who watches or listens to the Bedros Keuilian show? Anybody in here? Oh, sweet. Bunch of you. That's awesome. Whenever I meet people who watch or listen to my show, they're like, dude, I know all about you. I know the time that you snorted cocaine and went down your throat and your throat went numb, and then the time you were standing at the urinal, you had the double stream, and you were pissing down your leg and you didn't realize it because you're looking at your iPhone, because I tell the weirdest stories on my show, right? The time you had that anxiety attack in the car, da-da-da. And what ends up happening is they can relate to me. How does a snorting of a cocaine gone bad, pissing down my leg, an anxiety attack in a car, a police helicopter chase that I was involved in, and I was not in the police helicopter, I was in the getaway car. How does all that end up selling $100,000 coaching services, $50,000 franchises, Fuel Hunt apparel, Truline supplements? How do those dots connect? Because I'm able to show that I'm not the perfect human. Because people are naturally intimidated. If you're fit, if you're in shape, you're athletic, they just assume that you've always been that way. But if you're willing to be vulnerable, if you're willing to put yourself out there authentically, if you're willing to consistently post 7 days a week, if you want the formula, I'll give it to you. You're gonna post 7 days a week on Instagram, and you're gonna post once a week a main, 15, 20-minute video on YouTube, and then you're gonna put 3 shorts a week on YouTube. And whatever you post on Instagram, you're gonna also post on your Facebook. I don't believe you need TikTok right now, not for the world that we're in. Some of you might get clients from it, but I doubt it's anything substantial. And what you're going to post, guys, are all of the things that that future client of yours is going to use to make the buying decision. Remember, before they ever make the buying decision, they have to first decide whether they're coming to your gym or your gym or your gym. Whatever city or town you're in, you probably have competition. Maybe you do group training, someone else does small group training, someone else does yoga, someone else does, cycle classes. Hey, someone's looking for health and fitness and fat loss. They have all those options. They also have the options, because they're already on social media, they also have the options of millions of online coaches who know exactly how to position the camera from the right angle so that when they're training their front delts, they get the perfect booty shot. You ever see that on Instagram? That's my favorite one. I'm like, if I did that, man, no one would buy shit. But when the chick with the little booty with the scrunchie going up the butt, when she sets that camera up and does front delts, for some reason she's able to sell a lot of shit. I don't know. I'm still learning marketing, so, give me some slack. But the point I'm making is you are competing against every online coach out there. And if you think your competition is just right there in town, you're wrong. You've got to pre-qualify them, pre-overcome their objections, pre-establish authority, establish the know, like, and trust factor. They need to feel like all you want to do is serve that community that God or the higher power put you on this planet to serve that community, help them with their fitness and fat loss, and that you're so passionate about it that if you don't work with them, you've done them a disservice by allowing them to go to a different gym. If that is not your mindset, like, that's how I operate. If that's not your mindset, I'm just going to wait until my lead generation campaigns work. Dude, what are you doing? Well, we run the lead campaigns into the messenger, and then, we follow up with people, and then what happens? Well, they ghost us. I was telling the folks in the workshop yesterday, it is their job to ghost you. When a prospect becomes a lead, and then they don't answer the phone, reply to the text, or the email, they're doing their job. Don't get frustrated. They would answer the phone, they would reply to the text if you had positioned yourself as an expert or authority. I don't have a marker board up here, so I'm just going to allow you to visualize this. I want you to picture a pyramid. You could even draw it on your paper there, pyramid. The very bottom, draw a line about 1 inch wide. You're going to write the word generalist in there. Right now, all of you are just generally okay. You're generally making money. You're generally a good gym. Above that, make another line. That becomes the specialist column. You want to ascend up to the specialist. Above that is the expert. Above that, make another line. The authority. You want to come up and become the authority. And then at the very top of your pyramid, you're going to write the word celebrity. All I've done, all this immigrant has done, I've got ADD, OCD. You can ask everyone who was in the workshop yesterday. I couldn't spell a goddamn thing accurately. Like, I'm fucking ignorant. I can't even fucking spell. And I'm making $200 million a year because I put myself out there and I went from generally being a decent marketer to now positioning myself as a celebrity in an industry. And when you're able to do that, people fork out an obscene amount of money to work with you. They don't ghost you because they fill out the application or the form and then they eagerly wait for your call, text, or email. The response I get might be different than the response you get because of how I've positioned myself. Make no mistake about it, I am not a celebrity. I have manufactured celebrity. And I told you who I learned this from, The Rock. I love The Rock. Great human being. I follow him, he follows me. We shared a virtual DM fist bump once. I feel like we're chums now. And as soon as he started following me, I reached out to Phil Heath. Phil Heath, 7-time Mr. Olympia, is a coaching client of mine. I'm like, Phil, did you tell The Rock to follow me? He's like, nah, bro, like, I don't bring you up when I'm hanging out with The Rock. He's like, all right, first of all, you're an asshole. You should. Secondly, thank you. Got it. But as much as I love The Rock, let's be honest. If we could just objectively look at what he does, as a wrestler, he wasn't the best. He wasn't. He was never lean and chiseled. There was far more lean and chiseled and jacked wrestlers. In fact, he started off as the heel. In wrestling, the heel is the bad guy. And each time they tried to make him the good guy, it just they weren't buying it, and he went back to being the heel until one day he did the people's eyebrow. And then he became an actor. It wasn't the greatest actor either. At least he was consistent. How he did in wrestling is how he did in acting, right? I mean, I love him. He's a big, lovable guy. But, you know, you're not going to see an Oscar on his mantle anytime soon. But then he's like, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I may not be getting the love and recognition from the world, the television, media, movie industry that I want. But with social media, I can control the narrative. I can control the perception of The Rock. And that motherfucker went all in. He went all in about 8 years ago. You've seen a meteoric rise of The Rock in the last 8 years. And it wasn't for any other reason. He didn't become a better actor, a better entrepreneur, a better any of that. He got more access to more things. Voss Water. What the fuck does he know about Voss Water that he now has equity in Voss Water? What does he know about tequila? Do you see him out there in Mexico fucking farming tequila plants? Whatever, I don't know, is it agave plants, right? No. But we'll all drink Termana tequila because, well, it's the fucking Rock and we love him. What does he know about shoes and Under Armour? He doesn't know shit about them, but he promotes the hell out of it and we all buy it. And then there's that ice cream brand that he promotes. And then he buys the XFL. Because he decided that while the big nighttime shows are not giving him the platform for him to authenticate himself, that he will do it himself using YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And man, he did a great job. We got to see how he relates to his kids. We get to see him being a goofball. We get to see him fishing in his lake. We get to see him on the plane, going through scripts. And he's always talking about being the hardest worker in the room. He didn't say the most talented, did he? He's branded himself as the hardest worker in the room. I could relate to that because I'm not the most talented. I'm not. Everybody has always counted me out in everything I've done in life. Everybody. Because of my learning disabilities, because I can't pay attention, because I can't read right, because English is a second language for me. It's true, I'm not talented, but I'm fucking hardworking. I will just keep running through the wall. If you're like, that's the right wall to run through, come back in a few days, there'll be a hole in that wall. My face will be bleeding, but there'll be a hole in that wall. And I say that to you because The Rock has controlled the narrative. And by doing so, he's built an audience. And by doing that, he's gotten offers and opportunities. If any of you have heard of the Fuel Hunt brand, it's rare that I'm not wearing it, but today I'm not wearing it. I'm actually wearing my title of my book, Man Up. The Fuel Hunt brand is a brand that I would wear. I saw it, I discovered on Instagram. I'm like, that's a cool brand. I like their message. Everybody wants to eat, but few will hunt. Ooh, shit, I like that. I like that. Everybody wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit. Like that's what happened in Santa Ana, the parts of the towns that I grew up. Everybody would sag their pants like gangsters until the cops would roll by, then they'd pull their pants up and fix their hats. Because now you're not affiliated. As soon as the cops would drive by, they'd drop their pants and kick up their hat. But you could very quickly tell who wants to be a gangster and who really is. And so Few Will Hunt, I was drawn to that brand. I started wearing it. They reached out to me and said, hey man, every time you wear it on stage or an event or on Instagram, our sales go up. Maybe we want coaching from you. I'm like, cool, let's get on the phone. So I got to talking to them. I'm like, you don't need coaching. You need me to take equity. You need a business partner. And so I took equity. Do you know why I took equity? Because I'd build a personal brand that has a following that would wear the apparel. If I was just secretly, privately marketing and building my franchise, but no one knew the face of the franchise, I would not have had the opportunity to take equity in Fuel Hunt or the cauliflower crust company. Some of you might even have the cauliflower crust company in your fridge. And guys, I share that with you because once you have established yourself, the opportunities you get are crazy. I'm not saying that you need to become a global brand, but I am telling you, you ought to become a local personality. You ought to become a local celebrity. One, whatever restaurants you go to on date night, you seem to always have a table available for you. Two, the local cops are good to you. And three, when you have established yourself and you have a decent following, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people following you on Instagram, a couple of few thousand people on your YouTube channel, in a local town, that is plenty for you to be the mob boss. You guys understand that? Now you go to local businesses and you go, hey, can I interview you for my YouTube show? Just want to interview you about your hair salon, what it took to launch your hair salon, why you're the best and have the most reviews, et cetera. And they're like, fuck yeah, you're going to put me on a platform right here in this town? They know automatically you're going to expose them to clients and customers. Well, what's going to happen when that 15, 20-minute interview is done? You're going to go, hey, now here's what you can do for me. I'm going to give you 3 emails to send out, because I'm sure you have an email list because of your front desk system. Or I'm going to give you a script that you can share at your hair salon, because I'm going to let you work out at my gym for free. And then as you start losing weight, getting fit, having more energy, when people go, oh my gosh, you look amazing, you go, here's who did it. And oh, by the way, let me do a text introduction with them and give you a free week to work out there. Imagine if you had 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 local businesses doing that. I was telling the folks yesterday in the workshop, that becomes your syndicate. Now when the hair salon, the plastic surgeon, the chiropractor, the physical therapist, the nail salon, tanning salon, esthetician, med spa, where they're all talking about my local Fit Body Bootcamp, that person already comes to me pre-qualified, pre-closed, predetermined to buy. I would have to make an effort to not sell them because they've already gotten social proof from the people that they came referred from. Now, if that same person also happens to follow me on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, and they see client before and after pictures, they see client before and after videos, they see me write a powerful, vulnerable story of, let me tell you about the time that I was a fat kid throughout elementary school, junior high, and high school, and it wasn't until 11th grade that the center of the high school football team, Dave Sanborn, took me into the school gym and helped me work out, taught me how to work out. And my only motivation was so that I can make it to senior year in better shape so I can ask Nakaya to the prom. Little did I know that losing all that weight the summer before senior year, while I never had the balls to ask Nakaya to the prom, I looked amazing, and I decided that my path in life is going to be a personal trainer. And so I got certified as a personal trainer, worked in big box gyms, ultimately opened up my gyms, and today, here are all the before and afters of my clients. What a powerful post that is. By the way, that's a true story of me, right? You probably have a true story. Unless you came out walking like an anatomical chart, lean, jacked, sexy, you probably have a story because you're human. The human condition involves suffering. When are you going to share your story? And the most selfish thing we do when we go, yeah, I am going to do this, but I first need to get ready. I need to prepare my best post. I need to prepare a good backdrop. I need to write the best caption. I need to do a photo shoot to get some good pictures. We need to do a whole lifestyle video shoot to get the content. You selfish asshole. While you're trying to do all that and prepare, there's people crying themselves to sleep every night in your town and buying a lesser service that's going to rip them off, injure them, leave a bad taste in their mouth because you're too selfish. Do you know how many shitty pieces of content I have out there? Again, I was telling the people in the workshop yesterday, I have my YouTube channel since 2008. I have those old videos up there for you guys to go back and see. because everyone just sees the BK show. Or, oh my God, he put up a show and in 2 weeks it's over 100,000 views. Right. Go look at 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Some of them look like an Al-Qaeda fucking demand video. Like I'm standing in the shadows, my hair's disheveled, the camera's crooked. It's like, is this guy gonna get beheaded? Right? And I'm like, hey, my name is Bedros Keuilian and I'm trying to sell you fitness marketing services. If you're a gym owner, you're struggling, I can help you get more leads, make more sales. But the audio's horrible, and then I walk up, you can see me walking up to the flip cam and off. That was my editing. Off, and then on. Right? Like, what are you waiting for? Understand that if you're like, well, but I don't have the confidence. As soon as I build the confidence, I'll do it. You don't as soon as you build your confidence. Confidence is a byproduct of competence. Competence comes from doing, action. There's something called the confidence-competence loop. You can write that down and look it up. The confidence-competence loop. The more things you do, the more competent you get. The more competent you get, the more confidence you build. The more confidence you build, the more you're willing to do and put yourself out there. It's a cycle, and it works in your favor. You have to put up your ugliest posts, your worst videos, your version of your Al-Qaeda demand videos. You must do that. If you don't, there are literally people crying themselves to sleep every night. And I'm telling you, nowadays that I charge $100,000 for private coaching, we just raised our price for our franchise again. While the economy's sliding, we went up by another $5,000 in our franchise buy-in fee. This past quarter, so the first quarter of 2023, our best quarter yet since 2018. And 2018 and 19 were some of our most epic quarters before the pandemic. Why is that happening? Because I continue to build my personal brand and I talk about my products. Fit Body Bootcamp, Fuel Hunt, Truly Supplements, private coaching, Modern Day Night Project, Squire program. Our experiential events are packed because of that. I don't see the economic downturn that everyone else is talking about because people always have the money when there is a desire for the service. The desire is built well before they ever meet you. The objections are overcome well before they ever meet you. Imagine you sitting there with a client on your YouTube video, a client that's lost 60 pounds, and interviewing them. Hey, congratulations on your 60-pound weight loss. It's awesome that you lost all that weight. Here on the screen, we're gonna put up your before and after picture. But let's not talk about the 60 pounds. What else have you experienced since the transformation? Well, my marriage got better. I got a raise at work. I'm more confident. I have more energy. I'm less depressed. I no longer suffer from anxiety. Imagine that. Imagine a prospect who's determining whether I should go to you, or you, and all of a sudden now I'm sold. I'm going to you. Because that video is compelling. Because you can say how awesome you are all day long, but when your client says that, and then I'm gonna have a man, I'm gonna have a woman, they're gonna be black, they're gonna be white, they're gonna be old, they're gonna be young. I'm gonna have every gender, all 19 genders, and every ethnicity, because I don't know who's watching that shit on the other side of the screen, but I want them to relate. And you may not relate to a bearded goofball, but you might relate to the fact that I'm an immigrant, or the fact that I come from sexual abuse, or the fact that I have learning disabilities. The human psyche is very strange how we connect. We're so unpredictable. And so it is your job to authentically, vulnerably put yourself out there to serve humanity. And if you're not pre-closing them that way, then you're gonna deal with objections. Well, I gotta go talk to my spouse. Well, motherfucker, didn't you think that your spouse needed to be talked to before you came here? You know that's not an objection, it's not, or a condition. That's just an objection. It's a smokescreen. They're lying to you because they don't want to tell you, you did not demonstrate enough value for me to part with my money for your service. That's what they really want to tell you. But they want to spare your feelings, so they say, I'm going to go talk to my spouse. Oh, okay. And then salespeople, sales trainers come up with the objection conquerors for the, I'm going to go talk to your spouse. Oh, well, let's call him up. Let's call her up. Or, okay, go talk to him and then text me back. No, I don't want that objection in the first place because I want to have pre-closed you via YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I want you to go, holy fuck, You're that guy I watch on Facebook. Yes, welcome to Fit Body Bootcamp Chino Hills. Come on in. Come on in. I'm about to sell you a 12-month membership, but before I do, we have to see if you're going to be a good fit, okay? So we're going to put you into one of our sessions. Okay. Like, I literally, when I had my own gyms, I would start off that way. Like, straight up, I'm going to sell you on a program, okay? Okay, but first we have to see if you're going to be a good fit and if we're a good fit for you. Why am I going to dance around the fact that there's going to be a sales happening? I ain't a charity. You're not going to work out here for free. But because I put myself out there, they felt like they know me, like me, and trust me, and therefore their wall of resistance is down. Metaphorically, they're not here, arms crossed, leaning back. They're leaning in and going, yes, tell me more. Like, what do I do to become part of this family? And I believe, guys, you and I have a duty and an obligation to do that because I really, truly believe there are a lot of shitty services out there. Think of all your competition. They're not in here. They're not in here investing in themselves, putting in the time, learning the skills, developing the traits. They're not. They think that they can start a gym, whatever franchise it is, be fat and out of shape, be completely incongruent with the product or service that they're selling, not be here because, I don't know if Mike is back there or not, but anyone who runs an event like this knows. Well, I would have come to GSDCON if it was in Wyoming, but it's in Las Vegas, so I can't. Shut the fuck up. Like, do we need to do it in your living room? Get on a plane. People travel from everywhere to come see me talk, and then the person that's one state away is like, are you doing one in Arizona? Shut up. And if I am, you're not invited. But you guys understand, like, you guys have already made the decision that you're better than them. And that is a required trait. If there's three things I can tell you that control someone's success, three things that are not necessarily skills, right? One of them is a decision. The other two things are traits. The decision is who you choose as a spouse is the number one determining factor of your success or failure. That's just a fact. It's not me saying that. That is a fact. Who you choose as a spouse is the number one determining factor of your success or failure in life. So that's a decision. Number two, impulse control. If you can focus and consistently do the work without getting distracted, impulsively, reaching for your phone, taking a break, shifting gears, creating a new course, a new product, a new program. That's called just tactical loitering. Literally just spinning your wheels so that you don't launch because you're afraid of either success or failure. And those are true things to be afraid of. It's unreasonable, but people are afraid of success and failure. Failure, I don't want to be embarrassed. Success, I don't want the pressure. And then the third thing is that you truly have to feel like you're better than everybody else. It's just a fact. Like, think about what balls you have to pay a franchise fee, sign a 5, 7, 10-year lease at a storefront, hire a contractor to build out, and think that even though there's other gyms around in my town, I spent all this money, went into a deficit with other gyms around because I believe I'm better. You better fucking believe you're better. I believe I'm better than everyone else who can take the stage. And I have to demonstrate it over and over again. If you don't have those traits, you're fucked. Everyone else wants to sit in the cubicle, sign the back of the check. You're willing to sign the front of the check. You're putting your neck on the line. We're sliding into one of the greatest economic disasters of all times, and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to GSDCON to learn to make more money. That's fucking awesome. Like, that's the mindset to have. But you can't be humble about it. You are not in a humble sport. You are not in a humble sport. So I'm here to tell you, if you want to increase sales, if you want to make more money, if you want to sell bigger packages, retain clients longer, get more referrals, make your place the place. The way you do that is by you becoming the man or woman that everyone goes, oh my God, you're the person. Like, I live in Chino Hills. 20 minutes away, there's a beautiful steakhouse in Brea, California. Brea is a tiny little town under 100,000 in California, under 100,000 is considered tiny. It's like, well, I live on a 3,000. I know, I don't know what that is in California. We don't have that. That's like a block, right? Brea, California. My friend Tony owns a restaurant called Old Brea Chop House. When I go there to eat, I just see all these like famous people walking in. They're all shaking Tony's hands. Tony knows everybody. He knows the mayor. He knows the governor. He knows the police chief. He knows the athletes. Because he owns that restaurant and he's decided to be active on social media. It's a steakhouse. It's a steakhouse. Like, think Mastro's or Morton's. Just take the name off and put Old Brea Chop House. But because he's done that, he's made a personality of himself. And he can charge an obscene amount of money and still have a waiting list. And every single one of us can do that. But I need you to understand the old way of selling. So if you're like, Bedros, how do I overcome the time and money and spousal objection? I go, I don't know. I don't know because I never get that. My gyms never get that. Fit body owners never get that. We never want you to get that because if you put yourself out there ahead of time, when they come into you, they already know the prices. They already have seen an overwhelming amount, an irrefutable amount of evidence that you deliver the outcome and results by way of testimonials. So if they know the price, they know they get the results, they know it's a 30-minute program, they know that we want you to work out at least 4 days a week. They come in there, they're sold. They're sold. And we have now gotten so good at what we do this preemptively before a Fit Body Bootcamp doors open. So I want you to use that as well. If you're about to open a second location, or if you're here because you're opening your first one, 8 weeks out before our doors open, the Fit Body Bootcamp doors open, we start running the GO program, the grand opening program. We promise all Fit Body Bootcamp owners that you will have 100 paying clients when your doors open, or we'll keep marketing for you until you do. We're able to make that promise because 8 weeks out, we start peppering for that city, that location on social media, a very simple offer. Fit Body Bootcamp is coming to your town. It's a video that's running with words and someone voiceovering. Fit Body Bootcamp is coming to your town. Here's the type of results you can expect. And in the video, you're seeing before and after pictures. You're seeing people working out at a Fit Body Bootcamp. And we want you to click the link somewhere around this video to enter your name, email, and phone number to get one of 3 free 6-month memberships when our doors open. We know that if we can get 1,000 people to opt in for that 6-month giveaway, we can close, because we teach our new owners the system to close, we can close 10% of them. So if we get 2,000 people to opt in, they're opening their doors with 200 paying members, charter members. And so we do that because now we use social media to hype it up. And then once they opt in and get on that email list, they're getting peppered new content. Fit Body Bootcamp HQ, we have our own podcast where we take clients who have lost 50 pounds or more anywhere in the country. We fly them out, we interview them. We call it the Beyond the Scale Show. And now, while you're waiting for those 8 weeks to go by to see if you're going to win the 6-month membership or not, what ends up happening is you're getting emails of different podcasts that I'm on or Bryce is on, where we're talking about Fit Body Bootcamp and the transformations it's done for people. You're seeing videos, the Beyond the Scale videos, of clients who have gotten results at Fit Body Bootcamp locations worldwide. So by the time that person gets a call that says, hey, you either won that 6-month membership or not. So what we do then, right before the doors open, the week before the doors open, ta-da, 3 people get a free 6-month membership, randomly chosen from that database. Big email goes out to everyone that says, hey, here's the 3 people from this town who got that free membership. The rest of you, we're going to reach out to you and give you an opportunity to become a charter member so that you can save $20 a month and you can lock that price in for the rest of your life. And so we just actively, our owners are reaching out in that week before the doors open and saying, hey, sorry you didn't win the 6-month membership, but we'd like to have you come on board as a charter member. 12 months, no commitment. You can keep going as long as you want. When I say 12 months, typically we have a 12-month agreement. This one is a no-commitment deal, $20 discount. And we want to get 100 people on there because we know they're opening their doors with like already the rent being paid or majority of their overhead covered. And we do that because we're able to use social media to preemptively build a know, like, trust factor, the authority factor. Even before a Fit Body Bootcamp is in town, they're just excited for a Fit Body to come in town, even though they have other gym options. You can do that. But you've got to change your identity. And that's the last thing I want to share here in this next minute and a half is that whatever identity crisis you're having, where you're having this internal conversation, yeah, but I can't do that. I can't articulate as good as you. I can't speak as good as you. Understand, English is a second language for me. I had to learn the language before I could speak this well. Number one. Number two, I'm an introvert, INTJ, introverted, thinker, intuitive, judicial. I don't belong on stage. I want to be backstage. I want to be up in my room, working off my laptop. I like one-on-one conversations. I don't want to be on stage. I feel the sweat going down my back into my butt crack every time. I've done like over 500 speaking events. Every time I sweat profusely. But I know I'm called to do this. I've changed my identity. Like, I know what my calling is. If you're in this room, then I imagine you weren't deciding between Subway sandwiches or whatever gym. You chose fitness as your calling. Change your identity to become the person you must be to lead your business to massive success. And when you do that, you find that you don't have to develop these wacky little tactics of overcoming objections because they come in looking at you as the authority, as a celebrity, as the expert, irrefutably. And when you do that, you will make more money, keep clients longer, get more referrals. And as a byproduct of that, you will also impact more lives. Thank you so much. I love you all. Take care.